You're listening to episode 1 of the Feed You podcast.
Welcome to the Feed You podcast, giving you the real scoop on raising your business to new heights. Expert education, inspiration, and motivation to fuel your purpose, your passion, and your profits. Here's your host, Elisa Connor.
Hello. Welcome to the Feed You podcast. I'm Elisa Connor. I'm your host. And today I'm bringing on a talk and a training and a little information for you about why you don't have all the customers that you would like to have in your business. I often am doing research and I'm talking to different people out in different groups I'm in, and the question inevitably always comes up: why don't I have more customers? How do I get more customers? What do I need to do to get more customers? And I'm hoping that I can shed a little light on what is likely one of the biggest hindrances in your business. And it goes into brand development and business development. So I'm going to encourage you to download the values worksheet and information that I have in the show notes of this episode that will help you work through some of the things that we're going to talk about. So I want to back up just for a second and talk a little bit about brand values and business values and why they're so important to your success as a company and why your competitors are likely doing better than you are, and wrap it back around to kind of map out why it's so important. So when you create your business, everyone creates a product or a service of some sort that they're trying to sell. And then they may even get a little bit more clear about how they're going to deliver that service, and perhaps even a bit more clear about who they're going to deliver it for. But Simon Sinek, who is one of the people that I learned so much from, he is a genius in our time. And if you haven't heard of Simon Sinek, go and Google him and specifically look up the Golden Circle or the Power of Why video. And it is a video that I watch regularly just to keep me in alignment with what I'm doing and to help me work towards growing my business as well. So in that video, I'm going to explain it, which is going to be a little bit different because it's on a podcast, but in that video, he basically lays out 3 circles, which is why he calls it the Golden Circle. So the farthest circle on the outside is your what. It's what you do, what product, what service you deliver to the people that you're helping. So whatever that may be, it could be anything from, you're delivering fresh pies to the people in your community because they've ordered pies from you. And it could be, or you're a copywriter, and so you deliver content creation for your customers. So whatever that why is, whatever your product or service is, and the circle inside of that is the how. And that's how you do it, how you deliver it, and maybe a little bit about why you're different. But in the center of that circle is your why. And this is a little bit more than why you do it. I mean, most people are like, oh, I have a business because I want to make money. Well, that's a result of why you do your business. And so the marketing geniuses out there that have figured out to go from the inside of the circle out versus the outside in, which is very rare. I mean, even in big advertising companies and corporations, they still come from, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and this is, they may get to why, or they may never get to why. Some people just leave it out. But the ones that do get to why, or start at why and then go out, have a very different experience with business. Simon Sinek talks about the Apple example, and I'm going to use the example of Williams-Sonoma just because I love Williams-Sonoma and I think they're a great company. And their why, and I don't work at Williams-Sonoma, but their why is really to enhance people's lives and put them at the center of everything they do. And they want to enhance their lives in a way that they can gather more memories and more experiences together. And they do that by creating products that enhance that possibility of creating more memories. So that's through cookware and classes and all of the things that people pull together to create a experience around family and connection. And that's how they do it. And then they have stores, and it even extends to their employees. And so creating that vision where everything is customer centric also goes out to their employees. They're also very employee centric. Like, they want people to be able to use their imagination and not have limits, and be committed to their personal success and the success of the store. So when you coming from that, we want to impact people's lives versus we just sell a bunch of stuff that you can cook dinner with and we hope it works out. That's a very different feel. And so that's the importance of creating that why. And your why, the reason I'm going on and on about the why, is that when you figure out that why, it becomes the integral component as to how you do your business. And finding that why can be a little bit hard, and then creating the values around that why can even be a little bit more difficult. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I want to start this conversation by letting you know there are actually two types of values. There are core values, which are the values that you have identified and implemented into your business. And they are things that you put out there every single day. So it could be you have integrity, or you have honesty in every interaction that you have, and you have processes and procedures laid out that are to be followed, so that to ensure that value is brought forth to your customers and your contractors or your employees, whoever's in the situation, that there is always integrity and honesty brought forth, and no matter what happens in your company. So those are the core values that are implemented into every action you take within your company. The second type of values are your aspirational values. And these are values that you aspire to achieve within your company. So you may have identified that you want to be the most creative company out there in the space of food. However, you may not have quite reached that value, and not put it 100%. And so you're aspiring to achieve that value, but you know that your intimate success is dependent on implementing that aspiration value into a core value. So those are the two definitions. So you have core values and aspirational. So the ones that you really want to implement that you aren't quite there yet, and then the ones you have implemented and people are starting to know or know you for those. Now, when you create and you choose those values, which is what's in the worksheet that I've created, there's a whole list of values. I'm trying to see how many are on here. There's probably 50 values, and this is not even all that you could have. But it's a way for you to kind of brainstorm what would work for your company. And I wrote out, I have my values listed on here, and then I have a statement that goes with each value. They're not long, they're not drawn out. And you can usually Google anybody that you do business with. You can Google what their values are. So I have done that. I did that with Williams-Sonoma just because it's a company that I like and I support and I enjoy. And I actually went back and read the whole story of Chuck Williams, their founder, and I just thought it was really interesting. And so it made me, gave me inspiration to write my own values. So the values I have in my company, I'll just go ahead and share those with you really quick so you get an idea of how these would work for your business, and how, having that strong foundation of creating those values, we're going to talk about in just a minute why it would matter when you're out in the world, and when you're creating your marketing copy, and when you're at a networking event. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of that. But one of my core values is to always act with integrity. And meaning, so with integrity for me means that I am bringing my most authentic and integral part or self to the table when I'm doing business with people. I will always be honest with them. I will always deliver the highest value that I can for them, and I will always complete all of the steps and pieces that I have promised them. So writing a clear, concise statement around that, mine is, I will always act in integrity. And I know what that means. And so I probably need to flesh that out a little bit more. But for me, right now, it's me, and I have a small team of people, and they know that that's one of my values. So let's look at one of Williams Sonoma's. One of theirs is customer centric, and it says, "We are here to please customers. Without them, nothing else matters." Pretty simple. They are here to please their customers, and that mine could be the same thing, except that I just chose integrity, because I think it's one step up of being in integrity, always keeping my promises to people. So think about what that is. Go and download the freebie that I've created, the little free treat sheet over there, and there's a couple of steps that go along with this treat sheet. And one is that I want you to sit with your value choices. So the way I've set up the exercise is you go in and you circle, I think, 10 values that really resonate with you or write in your own. And then the next day I have you whittle it down. And then the next day I have you whittle it down again. And then I have you read over it and make sure that those really resonate with you. And I think sometimes we need a little bit of time to let things percolate. Just like when you have a new idea, like you're going to launch a new product or service, you need some time to percolate and think about, okay, so what does that look like? And how does it fit into my current business? And who would it help? And how is it different than what I've already offered? And all of those sorts of things. So the same thing with your values is, this is something that resonates from deep inside. This isn't just something you decide one day. It's something that is a core component of who you are. It just needs to be brought into fruition so that it's the cornerstone of your business. And it probably is already there, but the clarity that comes from identifying those core values in your business is going to be immense. So let's use an example. Say you're at a networking event, and one of the networking groups that I attend, we actually sit around at a table, and there's a group of 8 or 10 of us that we all go around the table and we say, what our business is, what we do, et cetera, et cetera. So let's use the example of you don't have any clear core values established. So you don't really have a differentiation. So you sit down and you say, I am a Mary Kay lady. I sell Mary Kay, so I sell your makeup. And I want to tell you all about our new specials. Well, you've already lost them. So then you keep going around the table and people keep going, and there's 2 other Mary Kay ladies, and they both do the same thing and they talk about the same specials, and there's no reason for those people to do business with you versus the other 2 people at the table, other than they might have liked the way your voice sounded or the clothes you're wearing that day or whatever. Whereas if you come from a place of strength and you have your core values and your why so clear, that when you go into that room, you start the conversation from this place instead. I provide women the opportunity to show up as their best self, looking as their best self in their businesses so that they can get more clients. And I do that by helping them choose cosmetics and skincare that will make them glow. That is much more powerful, don't you think, than to say, yeah, I sell Mary Kay and here's our specials. So that's where I'm trying to get you to. That's the lesson that I'm trying to put out there for you today, is the power that comes from identifying not only your values, but your why is so huge. And I want to be able to empower you to go after that and to choose not only that why, and sometimes you have to get your values first and then it leads to your why, and sometimes it works the other way. And don't dismiss the exercise as just a one and done, because it's something that's going to continue to evolve with you as your business evolves. So that being said, I want to just round out this quick training and this podcast episode for today with the opportunity for you to dig in deep and go and find this exercise. So the exercise is it's a very simple exercise. It's three sheets. The first one is the directions. The second one is actually a list of values. And don't be afraid to write in your own values or go do some research on the values of the companies that you admire and see where they're at. But I also want to put in the show notes the Simon Sinek video, because it really is a powerful video, and he does a much better job of explaining, the impact of coming from the why versus coming from the what, and how that will change your business. So I hope this has been a helpful episode. I hope you've had some takeaways from it. So if you're ready to get your hands on that exercise, that freebie that I've created, you can find that at lisaconnor.com/001. And that's because this is episode 1. Go over there, grab that freebie. If you have comments or questions, or you want to talk a little bit further, seek me out on Instagram. It's Elisa M. Connor, M as in Mary, and you can find me over there. And all of the other information will be in the show notes at lisaconnor.com/podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and I can't wait to see you next week. And we are talking all about mindset this month, so I have some great guests coming up to talk about mindset, and they're going to go a little bit further along the path of which I've started today. So thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Feed You Podcast at www.elisaconnor.com/podcast.